criticized. We were loved when we were doing the right thing. So then we become, oh, this is what I've got to do. All of the ways that we attract love, the way that we attract acknowledgement, the way that we attract kind of validation will stem from how love was given or how praise was given when we were young. Okay. And we've got to look at and say, was that right? Was that what we needed at that time? A lot of times, this is like if you look at love languages, I love languages. I really love them. Mine are, it's the first three that are most important. And mine are touch, words of affirmation, and quality time. And they often say that our love languages are what we didn't get as a child. Somebody just putting their hand on my shoulder and saying, Tanya, you're cool. I went to the doctor's the other day and he turned around and he went, you know what, you're doing all right, kid. And I almost wanted to cry. I was like, do you want to marry me or something? Just the fact of that acknowledgement was, it really, really touched my core, just being called kid, and it was like, it was so lovely. So this is what we've got to look at, what is it we need? What is it we need from that father, that ideal father, that none of us had, because as parents, we are human beings. We're going to fuck up. We don't know it all. So looking at that, what is it you want in that structure of, the father? What is it you wanted in that structure of the mother? And how can you give them things to yourself? Okay. How can you reparent yourself with the wisdom and the knowledge that you have now? Because you know it, you know what you need. Every single one of you watching this knows exactly in this moment what you need to take you where you need to go or where you want to go. Okay. But we'll skirt around it and we'll make the excuses and we'll do all of that and put the blame on somebody else. But whenever you point the finger, blame, there's 3 pointing back at you. So it's always about us. And what is happening in our outer world is always a reflection of our inner world. So this Capricorn moon, is anybody feeling it? How is it feeling for you? I like it, but it's different. It's different energy to what I would normally say I like, if that makes sense. So I'm going to pull some cards and see what these are saying. That was just what I was picking up. I mean, we've got some crazy stuff going on, and I don't want to say, like cut our emotions off. This is where we've got to hold space for them. We've got to allow them, as I said, Capricorn can often be about communication as well. This is speaking up, speaking what we need, speaking what we want, speaking what is not okay, and speaking what is okay, acknowledging, this is it, like thanks, gratitude, things like this. A lot of times we forget to say these to people. We take things for granted, for the people that are around us, but then when we haven't got them, then, that is when we realize how important they are. So it's a lot of, basically, it's looking at our structure. Are we actually giving out what we want to receive? And if not, then if we change our being, then things will change. If we always do what we've always done, then we will always get what we've always got. And this will be a struggle again. Life is not meant to be a struggle. It's meant to be lived. Okay. Even in the hard times, try and find that humor, try and find that beauty. What is the blessing in this mess? Because there is always one, and whatever mess is there, it can be cleaned up. So I might do it. Tanya has that sweet and comforting ASMR voice and tone. That's really strange, Small Mind Flowers. My half brother messaged me a couple of months ago and went, you really need to do ASMR tarot. And I was like, what, me? I'm like a foghorn a lot of the times. But thank you for that. That's nice. So yeah, it's like, this is an invitation, for us to have our needs met, to find that safe space, to be to be seen, to be heard by even ourselves. You know, this is what we need because this is the work that we need to do. Now, I'm pulling these cards here, and all they're saying is, it's like we're worn out. It's like we are worn out, where there's a real feeling of being in a bit of a head mess here, being worn out. But what I want to say is, please don't allow what is going on in the head to actually dictate or to make you think that is where you're at. Because what they're saying here is, if you tap into your heart, it might be tired, but it is still strong. It is beating. Okay. If you're watching this, your heart is beating. It is still there. It is still fighting. So this is where you have to keep loving. Okay. Your head might go all over the place. Your head might be full of stuff. Okay. But tap into your heart, and that will help to almost soothe your head. Don't know why it's saying this, because we're not looking at the past anymore. We're not. What this moon is wanting us to do is look forward and go, right, we've had our past. We know how that is. We know that if I do this, then this happens. Okay. So what this is wanting us to do here is go, right, what parts of this do I want to take into my future? And what parts do I want to leave behind? What is it that I need to bring into my future in order for it to be the future I want? And I feel I've spoken about this so many times and it keeps coming up. And I know I have big work to do on this, and it's there and it's ready. It's just not the right time yet. It's all like shelved. It's ready just to open the floodgates. And, this is talking here. You go, this is what it's saying. We need to, it's this masculine, feminine energy, which is Capricorn and Cancer. This is it. Mother, father, partners. Where's the balance? The yin yang. This is what we need to do. And if we are scared of integrating that, we all both we all have both within us. Okay, we have a masculine side, we have a feminine side, and most times with people, one of them is overdeveloped and one of them is underdeveloped. One of the things I always say is, when I am in England, I really have to step into my masculine side. It's a struggle. It's like, right, you've got to get through life. You've got to do this. I don't like that. I don't like that. I like the softness of the feminine. I'm able to do that when I'm away from England. And what is interesting, the other day, just to bring this up, I was doing some research and doing some work and just sitting with my thoughts about this. And I'm just going to find it because I wrote it down. I didn't even think I'd be mentioning it. I didn't think it was relevant today, but they're showing me that this is. And where is it? Sorry. Oh, I kind of. Yeah, this is it. Yeah. So I was looking back over past relationships and things like that, and every single one of them give me exactly the medicine that I needed at that time. But I was just looking back over them, right, and thinking about myself in them, because I wasn't perfect. Like I say, we learn, and we evolve. And I was the breadwinner. I was the breadwinner. I was the one that done this. I was the one that put the shelves up. I was all of that, because that is stuff that I can do. I do things like pretty easily like that. If there's something that I can work out how to do it. And what I realized was, a lot of them, pretty much all of them, there wasn't a strong masculine within my relationships. Um, there was alpha a lot of times, but not strong masculine. Nobody ever said, "Don't worry, I've got this." Don't worry, I've got this. I had to bring the discipline, the plans, the all of that. And I was thinking about it and I thought, is there resentment there? No, there's disappointment. There's disappointment that, that was how things were. But what I then realized, which was such a big insight, and let me know, anybody, what, whatever, masculine, feminine, whatever, let me know if this makes sense to you. Um, what I realized was it wasn't the fact that I had to do all these things. These things I can do, and I can do them easily. It's easier to do them. It was the fact that I wasn't given the space to be in my feminine role. I wasn't given that space. I had to step into the masculine and be the feminine. And that is where the disappointment is, you know. And maybe, I wouldn't have accepted that then, because I know as a strong woman, you're independent. I was always told, never let a man run your life, Tanya. You take control, blah, 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 all of that, all of this wounded feminine stuff that is spoken about to us, this wounded like Cancer energy, this emotional stuff. But, now I am strong enough in myself that I can accept that. I know, it's nice when somebody opens a door for you. One of my friends, I've mentioned this before, they stepped up when I couldn't. And I said, wow, I've never, I really appreciated you in that moment. You made me feel very safe. And they went, yeah, because you let me. And the feminine is receptive. The masculine is penetrative, and a lot of times, I mean, I'm working a lot with guys at the moment, I'm doing a lot of like, work with them, and I'm working with women as well. And it's the fact that we're not being heard, we're not being seen, it's going over the heads. And a lot of times the masculine are saying that they're feeling that they're demasculinated. Sorry, I'm not good with my words. Demasculinated, or they are being put down. And this is the thing where we've got to see through the eyes of the other as well, and say, are we giving out what we want to receive? Because I can tell you now, and this is going to be pretty controversial. Somebody called me, what was it, the other day, and I thought it was really funny. Somebody said that I was, I think it was an internal misogynist or something. It's like, yeah, right, okay. It really made me laugh. But what I'm saying is, the feminine has a stronger voice at this moment. Not in all cases. This is why I spoke up last week about this thing that happened, because I need to, it's not about me, it's about other people, and I need to stop this. And if I can be a voice to others, you know, and yeah, I get that, Emily, when you're saying there, we need men to be men. But the thing is, we need to allow them to be men, because all we say is talk about your emotions. You don't speak up. You don't talk about things and all of that. And the second they go, hold on a second, I'm not feeling good, or I feel emotional, we go, oh, shut up. We've had it harder. And this is where we've got to, this is where we've got to actually recognize that we have to give out what we want to receive. Nobody is saying that if a man is emotional or something like that, or they're having a bad time, that actually disregards, that disregards what women have been through. Nobody's saying that. And this is where we need to say, the masculine is hurting. The masculine is hurting massively, as is the feminine. But we can never heal our feminine until we start to acknowledge and heal the wound of the masculine. We talk about the patriarchy. It's bullshit. It's horrible. The things that have been done. It's this abuse of power, this Capricorn, which I'm talking about. But realize that this patriarchy has also done as much damage to the masculine as it has to the feminine. And we've got to recognize that. If we want our wounds recognized, we need to recognize that the other is wounded too. And we need to, as I said there, this is when we get into our head and our heart. It is not a battle. This is where we can come together. All these fights that we're having in our head, and these places where we're not feeling safe, we're not feeling heard, we're not anything like that. If we incorporate and if we listen, we will be heard. If we speak, we will be listened to. And we've got to see this. If we want to be comforted, then we must comfort. This is it. It's not rocket science. It's fucking simple. Yeah, we complicate things and we don't communicate in a way that is heard by each other. And this is what is so important. You know, if we open our hearts can become closed. And when our hearts are closed, we do this because maybe we've had bad relationships, maybe we've been abused, maybe blah, 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 whatever. And we close our heart. And what happens when we close our heart is that pain is trapped in it. Okay? So what we need to do is we need to open our heart. When we can have compassion for the other, we will get compassion back. Think about what you're feeling at this moment in time. What is it you need? What is it you're lacking? What is it you're scared to ask for? And then go out and give that to somebody else. When we're feeling helpless, help someone. You know, because this is where the world will change. And this is what I'm passionate about, you know. And this is why when I stand up on that court, you know, and I know they will try and bring me down, but this is why I do what I do, because I believe the world can change. You know, I have a belief, I see it. And, you know, we need to speak it into being. So Emily's saying there, we need to help them feel confident and comfortable enough to with you to show these feelings and respect that. It's amazing. And don't betray their trust. Exactly. Exactly. There is a situation that is close to home here. Like, again, I can't go into it because it's other people's stuff. But somebody speaking very openly and very honestly and very transparently with somebody, and the second they then didn't do what this person done, boom, this person has thrown everything back at them. You know, almost like I'm seeing there, like, what is it, like in American football? Bang! There you go, you know, and use that against them. You know, that is why the masculine does not trust the feminine. You know, that is why. Because when the feminine is wounded, it will use whatever it has to attack. And then the masculine will back off, and then we go, why are they backing off? And it's just this crazy game that people, you know, it's so plain to see. And you know, it all stems down, this is the challenge that we have. You know, it all stems down to our childhood, to what we didn't get from our mother or father, from what the roles, what we did get from our sorry, what we did get from our mother and father, and what role we were taught to play, and how we were taught to, you don't do this, you don't do that, you know, keep them guessing, play hard to get, blah, blah, blah. Bullshit, absolute bullshit. And this is